Biggest raise of his career. And he's broker than ever. Marcus is 31, works in marketing, just landed a $15,000 raise. Friday comes, first new paycheck. He opens his bank app and just stares. $87. $87. He's making more money than anyone in his family ever has. More than his dad pulled in after 30 years at the same factory. And here he is, a Friday night with less money in his account than a college kid slinging lattes part-time. And the crazy part, he can't even tell you where it went. He's not out there buying Rolexes or popping bottles. He's got a normal apartment, a normal car, a normal life, nothing crazy. But when he finally sat down and tracked every single dollar, line by line, expense by expense, what he found made his stomach drop. He canceled 3 subscriptions that same night, sold his car the following week. And then he did something his coworkers thought was absolutely insane. We'll get to that. But first, if you've ever gotten a raise and somehow felt more broke a few months later, don't go anywhere. Because what's happening to you isn't bad luck. It's not poor discipline. It's a system, and it's working exactly the way it was designed to. Your salary isn't making you rich. Your salary is keeping you busy enough to never become rich. I know that sounds dramatic, but by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how the math works. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm going to break this whole thing down. Real numbers, real people, real psychology. And there's one number, one single number, that matters way more than your salary, your title, or your raise. Most people go their entire career without ever calculating it. That number is the difference between being trapped and being free. Let's get into it. Let me introduce you to Jess. Jess is 29. She just got a new job. Went from $52,000 a year to $72,000, a $20,000 jump. She nearly cried when she got the offer letter. And honestly, she deserved it. 4 years grinding at her old job, underpaid, overworked, eating sad little lunches at her desk while her boss took 2-hour breaks. She earned this. So when that first fat paycheck hit, she did what anyone would do. She upgraded. Not in a crazy way, in a I finally deserve this way. Her old apartment, tiny 1-bedroom in a sketchy part of town. Loud neighbors. Weird smell in the hallway she never figured out. She'd been dying to leave for years. So she moved, found a nice place closer to work, modern kitchen, in-unit laundry, safe neighborhood. Rent went from $950 to $1,350. $400 more a month. But hey, she's making 20 grand more a year. That's nothing, right? Then the car. Her old Honda had 140,000 miles on it. Dashboard lights looked like a Christmas tree. She wasn't going to show up to her new job in that. So she leased a new one. Payment went from $0, because the Honda was paid off, to $320 a month. Plus, insurance bumped up another $80. So now we're at $800 more per month. But still, 20 grand raise. She's fine. Then the small stuff started creeping in. Quietly, the way it always does. New gym membership near the apartment, $55 a month. Her old one was $25, but this one has a sauna. So, upgraded phone plan, added streaming services. Got one of those meal kit subscriptions because she's too busy to cook now. $1 here, $12 there, $30 here. She started eating out more, not lavish dinners, just grabbing lunch with coworkers because that's what everyone at the new office does. Saying no felt weird, so she didn't. That's an extra $200 a month she wasn't spending before. And she started buying better clothes. Nothing designer, just nicer. Professional wardrobe, she told herself. $150 a month average. Now let's run the numbers, because this is where it gets ugly. At $52,000, Jess was taking home about $3,350 a month after taxes. Her expenses ran around $2,800. That left her a $550 cushion every month. Not life-changing, but it was something. She was saving a little, breathing a little. At $72,000, she's pulling in about $4,500 a month. Nice jump, but her new expenses, rent, $1,350. Car plus insurance, $400. Groceries and dining, $650. Gym, $55. Phone, streaming, subscriptions, $160. Utilities, $180. Clothes, $150. Gas and transport, $200. Random stuff she can't even track, $300. Total, $3,445. Cushion, $1,055. Looks better than before, right? A grand of breathing room. She's winning. Except she's not, because here's what happened next. Around month 6, Jess felt that cushion getting comfortable, and that's when the real damage kicked in. She financed new furniture for the apartment, $120 a month. Started getting her nails done every 2 weeks, $90 a month, booked a vacation she needed, put $2,400 on a credit card, minimum payment, $85 a month. Signed up for an online course she never finished. $50 a month. That's another $345. Gone, just like that. New cushion, $710. And it keeps shrinking because every time Jess feels a little bit of breathing room, her lifestyle stretches to fill it. Like gas in a container, it always finds the edges. By month 8, at her new salary, Jess is saving less per month than she was making $52,000. Let that sit for a second. A $20,000 raise, and she's saving less than before. Jess didn't get richer. She got more committed. More bills, more payments, more subscriptions, more obligations. She built a life that requires $72,000 a year just to function, which means she doesn't just want her job anymore. She needs it, and that's the part nobody talks about. Every single upgrade you make isn't just a purchase. It's a chain. A tiny invisible chain that locks you tighter to that paycheck. One chain, you don't even feel it. But 50 of them, 100. Now, you can't move. Jess doesn't know it yet, but she's not an employee anymore. She's a hostage. And here's the darkest part. She feels good. She's got the nice apartment, the new car, the gym with the sauna. From the outside, she looks like she's winning. Her Instagram looks great. Her parents are proud. But underneath all of that, she's got less freedom than she had making $52,000 in that tiny apartment with the weird smell in the hallway. The system gave her comfort, and in exchange, it took her options. But what happens when someone actually sees this trap while they're still inside it? That's exactly what happened to Marcus. Remember Marcus, the guy from the beginning? $15,000 raise, $87 in his bank account. Let's go back to him because Marcus did something Jess never did. He actually looked that Friday night, the one where he's staring at his bank app. He didn't just close it and move on. He didn't tell himself, I'll figure it out next month, like he always did. He sat down at his kitchen table with a notebook and a pen, old school, and he went through every single transaction from the last 90 days. Every single one. What he found was almost comical. If it wasn't so painful, his rent had gone up $300 when he moved to a better place after the raise. His car, he'd traded in his paid-off Civic for a leased SUV because, and I quote, I'm a director now. I can't be driving a 2016 Civic. That's $410 a month he wasn't paying before. Insurance jumped $95. His kid needed braces, $175 a month on a payment plan. He'd signed up for a premium gym, a nicer phone plan. Started ordering DoorDash 3-4 times a week because he was too tired to cook after work. When he added it all up, his raise wasn't a raise at all. His income went up $15,000. His new obligations, $18,200 a year. He got a raise and went backwards. And here's what hit Marcus the hardest. Nobody forced him. No one put a gun to his head and said, lease that SUV. No one made him move. No one signed him up for DoorDash. He did all of it himself, voluntarily, happily even. That's the genius of this system. It doesn't need to force you. It just needs to present the option. Your brain does the rest. You get more money. You feel like you've leveled up. And your psychology, the deep wired-in part of you that ties spending to status and comfort to success, takes over. You don't even question it It just happens. Like gravity. And once it happens, you're locked. Because now Marcus can't quit. Can't take a pay cut for a job he'd actually enjoy. Can't take 6 months off to figure out what he really wants. Can't start that side project he's been thinking about for 3 years. Because his life costs too much. His employer doesn't need to chain him to his desk. His lifestyle does it for free. And this isn't just Marcus. This is almost everyone. Here's a number that should keep you up at night. Over 60% of professionals in America, people with good jobs, solid salaries, college degrees, couldn't cover their expenses for more than 1 month if their paycheck disappeared tomorrow. 1 month. The majority of successful people you know are 30 days away from a financial crisis at any given moment. One layoff, one health scare, one bad quarter at the company, and the whole thing collapses like a house of cards. That's not security. That's a tightrope with no net, dressed up to look like solid ground. So let me ask you something, and be honest. Nobody's watching if you lost your job tomorrow. How many months could you survive? Not move back in with my parents. Survive. Your life. Your current bills, your current lifestyle. How long does it last? If the answer is less than 3 months, you're not employed, you're dependent. And there's a big difference. An employed person chooses to work, a dependent person has to. The system loves dependents. Dependents don't negotiate. Dependents don't leave. Dependents don't take risks. Dependents show up on Monday, do what they're told, and say thank you when they get a 3% raise that doesn't even keep up with inflation. You become the perfect employee, which really means the perfect prisoner. Marcus saw all of this that Friday night, staring at a notebook full of numbers that told a story he'd been ignoring for years. And that's when he asked himself the question that changed everything. Not how do I make more money? He'd been asking that one his whole life, and it never worked. This question was simpler, scarier, and way more powerful. What if I just stopped upgrading? That brings us to the part most people never figure out. The one number that actually sets you free. Here's what nobody teaches you. Not in school, not in college, not at your job, not even in most personal finance books. Your salary doesn't matter. I know, sounds insane. But hear me out. Your salary is just a number on a piece of paper. It comes in, and if it goes right back out, which, as we just saw with Jess and Marcus, it almost always does, then it's not wealth. It's movement. Money passing through your hands on its way to someone else's pocket, your landlords, your banks, your car dealerships, DoorDashes. You're not the destination. You're the middleman. The number that actually matters, the one that determines whether you're free or trapped, is the gap. The space between what comes in and what goes out. That's it. That's the whole game. Not your salary, not your title, not your raise, the gap. Someone making $60,000 a year who spends $45,000 has a $15,000 gap. That person is building something. Someone making $200,000 who spends $195,000 has a $5,000 gap. That person is sprinting on a very expensive hamster wheel, going nowhere fast. Who's actually wealthier? On paper, the $200,000 earner. In real life, the one making $60,000 is 3 times freer. Because freedom isn't about how much comes in, it's about how much stays. Once you see it that way, the whole game flips upside down. This is exactly what Marcus figured out that Friday night with his notebook. He wasn't earning too little, he was keeping too little. The faucet wasn't the problem, the drain was. So here's what he did. And yeah, this is the thing his coworkers thought was insane. He didn't ask for another raise, didn't pick up a side hustle, didn't start trading crypto at 2 a.m. He just stopped upgrading. Broke his car lease, took the penalty, bought a used Toyota for $9,000 cash. Car payment went from $410 to $0. Insurance dropped $95. Moved to a smaller apartment, not the sketchy 1-bedroom with the weird smell. Just a normal, decent place. Saved $300 a month. Canceled the premium gym. Got a $10 Planet Fitness membership. Deleted DoorDash off his phone entirely. Started cooking again. Brought lunch to work like he used to. His coworkers looked at him like he'd lost his mind. Bro, you just got promoted? Why are you downgrading? He didn't argue. just smiled, because within 4 months, something shifted. Something that changed the way he walked into work every single morning. He had $11,000 in savings. First time in his adult life. And that number, $11,000, did something no raise ever did. It gave him options. He wasn't desperate anymore, wasn't anxious on Sunday nights, wasn't terrified of his boss being in a bad mood, because for the first time, he didn't need this job to survive next month, or the month after, or the one after that. He could negotiate, he could say no, he could walk away. Not yet, but he could. And that made all the difference. See, most people get this wrong. They think the goal is to earn more. It's not. The goal is to need less. Because the moment you need less than you earn, consistently, intentionally, not by accident, you stop being a hostage and start being a person with choices. And it comes down to three things, just three. One, when your income goes up, your expenses stay exactly where they are. No upgrades, no, I deserve this. Not yet. Let the gap breathe first. Two, the gap doesn't sit in a checking account collecting dust. You redirect it, savings first, then into things that generate money on their own, investments, assets, anything that pays you instead of billing you. Three, the magic number is 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months of your expenses saved up, untouched, not for a vacation, not for a new car, for freedom. Because the second you hit that number, your entire psychology rewires. You stop making decisions out of fear. You start making them out of clarity. That's not financial advice from a textbook. That's what Marcus learned staring at a notebook on a Friday night with $87 in his bank account. The gap is the game. Everything else is noise. So let's go back to where we started. Marcus, Friday night, bank app open, $87. That was the night he woke up. Not the kind of waking up where you read a motivational quote and feel inspired for 10 minutes. The real kind. The kind where you see something you can't unsee. Where the math on a notebook page tells you a truth your gut already knew but your ego kept burying. He was earning more than ever, and more trapped than ever, not because the system was broken, because it was working perfectly. Here's the part that matters most. Marcus isn't special. He's not smarter than you, doesn't have better discipline, didn't read some secret book or stumble onto a hidden formula. He just did one thing differently. He looked. That's it. He stopped scrolling, stopped ignoring, stopped telling himself, next month I'll figure it out. He sat down, looked at the numbers, and told himself the truth. Most people never do that. Not because they can't, because they're afraid of what they'll find. It's easier to keep sprinting on the wheel than to admit you've been running in place this whole time. But you're still here, 12 minutes in. That tells me something about you. You're not the person who looks away. So here's your move. Tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Open your bank account, look at the last 90 days, add up every dollar that left, compare it to every dollar that came in. Find your gap, or find out you don't have one. That's the moment. Right there. Not a raise, not a side hustle, not some investment guru's $997 course. A notebook and the truth. The salary trap is real. But now you've seen it. And once you've seen it, staying trapped isn't bad luck anymore. It's a choice. Make a different one. If this hit home and you want to go deeper, how to actually build the gap, turn it into real wealth, break free for good, hit subscribe. New videos every week. Each one gets you one step closer to the kind of freedom most people only pretend to have. Hey, my name's Dan, and this is my channel. I break down the psychology of money, the invisible systems that keep people stuck, and how to actually beat them. No fluff, no guru nonsense. Just the stuff nobody told you when you needed to hear it most. If this one hit home, hit subscribe. Each one gets you one step closer to the kind of freedom most people only pretend to have. I'll see you in the next one.